What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back for another Tottenham update. And let's see what we got going on today. It is semi-final day football. Is football coming home, Sim?
Definitely.
Is it coming home?
For the first time, as Casper Schmeichel would like to point out, I think it's going to come home. I think England are the best team left in the tournament, I think we're playing the best. And Denmark, it's going to be a different game tonight. But if England can match Denmark's intensity and their fight, then there's no reason why we can't go through tonight.
You know what? If we do beat Denmark tonight and, we got Italy are the first team in the final, without a Spinazzola, they didn't look as good yesterday. And potentially without a Chiesa as well now.
Was he injured, was he?
Well, he did limp off for a bit, didn't he? So it's not a done deal that he's out, but it's a potential that he's out.
Yeah, that definitely would help us. And England have pretty much got a fully fit squad, haven't they? No injuries throughout the tournament. Even managed to rest players when players have come in for other injured players or suspended players. They've always done a great job. You think Tyrone Mings coming in did a great job. You think Saka and Sancho both coming in have done a fantastic job. So it really is great at the moment for England. The whole camp is together. And there's absolutely no reason. The only people stopping it coming over are going to be England and shooting themselves in the foot. That's the only thing. I think England right now are the team to beat.
100%. And you know where to catch the watch along tonight on We Are Tottenham TV. We'll be back live on location, and I cannot wait. It is a massive day today, and I cannot wait for tonight. Let's go out. Let's beat the Danes at Wembley in front of 60,000 fans as well. Really?
Yeah, that's what the rumours say. He's going to retake his spot ahead of Sancho.
Interesting.
It's going to be same lineup, just Saka for Sancho.
Interesting. I mean, I didn't think Sancho was too great, was he?
Wasn't bad. Game. It wasn't bad, but yeah, maybe you want to see it like in a game where they won 4-0, you maybe want to see him a few more shots, be a few more involved in the final attacks, which he was good. I thought in and around the build-up play, he was actually pretty good. But for someone of Sancho's quality, maybe you're just a bit underwhelmed by, how many shots did he have and stuff like that. Not many. But yeah, I think he did a similar job, I thought, to Saka. Saka's done great so far, hasn't he, since being in the team. So I don't think it's a massive deal swapping them two.
I agree. But let's move on to the update. We've got some quotes from Pep Guardiola, some really interesting quotes, and it goes like this. It says, "At the prices quoted, we are not going to buy any striker. It is impossible. We cannot afford it. All clubs are struggling financially. We are not an exception. We have Gabriel and Ferran, who have been incredible in this position."
Oh, bubbler. No, too much money for the billionaires.
And then it goes on to say, "I imagine that if we want to sign a Barca or Madrid player of 100 million or so, Barca or Madrid will not complain."
Oh, poor Pep. Oh, he's struggling. Oh, it's that meme, with Woody Harrelson wiping his tears with money. That's what Pep Guardiola is pretty much.
You can play that track, "Hello, Darkness, my old friend."
Because he can't afford 150 million. Oh, Pep. Poor Pep. What's he going to do? He can't spend 150 million on one player.
Don't worry, he's happy. Gabriel and Ferran are more than good enough in that position.
Of course he is. I'm sure they'll splash on someone, whether it be Kane or not, what remains to be seen. But I do think 150 million, they've never really spent that much money on anyone, even,
they've never even spent 100
without the
million on
pandemic.
anyone.
Exactly. I think the highest is De Bruyne for, or Rodri for 60 or something like that. So I can understand that. Man City never really pushes about that much. They usually sign a lot of players for 50 million instead of signing one player for 150. That's kind of how they've done it so far. So it's going to be a big step to kind of break that ceiling by such a margin to sign Harry Kane. So I understand what Pep's saying, but if Man City, least of all, should be complaining about player prices. Honestly,
It does make me smile. I'm not going to lie, it makes me smile.
They've got a sea of cash that they could just dive into. They could easily spend 150 million and it wouldn't hurt them. The only reason they wouldn't do it is because, first of all, I guess they want a financial fair play, whatever they keep.
Yes,
they
listen to that so closely, don't they?
In terms of their revenues and stuff, they make they don't care about making a loss or anything. They've got so much money, it doesn't really affect them. So they could easily spend the 150, but they probably won't because they never have. It's a big step.
Good. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. That's for sure. But let's move on. There was the Copa America semi-final last night. The second semi-final. In the first one, Brazil took through. And then it was, last night it was Argentina against Colombia with Giovanni Lo Celso and Davinson Sanchez going head-to-head. Argentina winning the game on penalties. Giovanni Lo Celso only lasting 56 minutes. And Davinson Sanchez missing his penalty in the penalty shootout, which Argentina go through to face a mouth-watering tie in the final against Brazil.
Yeah. And I saw the goal as well. Lo Celso did have a big hand in the goal that Argentina scored. Played a really good pass through to Messi, who found Lautaro Martinez, and they went 1-0 up. But I was very surprised in the previous tie. I can't remember who Colombia played, but it went to penalties, and Sanchez slotted it home like so confidently. I was like, "Where? I've never seen this Sanchez before, slotting home a penalty confidently like that." But
has he ever taken a penalty in a shootout?
No, but you just don't associate him with composure in those kind of situations, do you? But
in any situation,
exactly. And I was really surprised when I saw him slot at home so confidently, but. This is more like the Sanchez we know, and obviously he missed the penalty, which and actually Yerry Mina missed a decisive one, and Messi was shouting at him saying, "Well, you're not where you're dancing. Where's the dancing? I don't see you dancing anymore," because he did some silly dance after the last penalty shootout. But it should be a great final. Sounds like Lo Celso, even though he went off, I think he went off after 55 minutes, but I've read that he's had a pretty good tournament so far.
Yes, from my understanding that he's had a really good tournament up until yesterday, which he was fairly poor in the game yesterday. But
he's still involved in the goal.
Yeah, he was still involved in the goal, but I think going off after 55 minutes kind of tells...
Yeah, but he was just coming back from injury. He got injured, didn't he?
What, in the tournament he got injured? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was just coming back, so maybe he's still, I don't know, I got no idea. But apparently he's been playing on the left of a midfield three, and he's had a pretty good role there, linking up with Messi actually quite often, they're saying. So that's a positive, and hopefully he can build confidence going into next season. And I'm sure he'll be, by the sounds of things, he'll probably going to be starting the final. So we'll have to wait and see.
100%. Let's move on from Demasio, and he says Arsenal and Tottenham are talking to Bologna to find an agreement for Takehiro Tomiyasu. So apparently Arsenal are in the running for Tomiyasu now.
Apparently he prefers Spurs.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't?
Exactly. Come on, there's only one club to choose. But yeah, it sounds like they are going to try and hijack it. That's what the noise is at the moment. But we'll see. Let the best club win.
Well, we know who the best club are, that's for sure. Calcio Mercato say Tottenham are interested in Atalanta goalkeeper Pierluigi Golini. Do you know much about him?
Not really. I know he's got one cap for Italy, and he plays for Atalanta. That's all I know, really. I've seen Atalanta play a few times, but I've not really taken note of their keeper too much. So I don't have too much to say about him, but... it's one of those where Paratici knows Serie A well, and he would have kept an eye on potential goalkeepers to replace Lloris with, given the fact that Lloris is getting on a bit. So I don't expect Lloris to leave this summer, but maybe he's with an eye on who the long-term successor could be.
The Mail it's just so annoying that since we got Paratici, we just literally linked to every single player from Serie A under the sun. Even players I haven't even heard of. You just don't know what's right and what's wrong, and if it's true, if it's not, lazy journalism, like what is it? But this next one from the Mail say that Fabio Paratici is understood to be an admirer of Mert Mulder and is ready to pursue a deal for the Turkey and Sassuolo right back. But I mean, he doesn't start for right back at Turkey, does he? Because Zeki Çelik does.
Yeah, Zeki Çelik was starting in the Euros. But how old is he? Is he a young player, I think?
I imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, he's, I know Sassuolo are a very attacking, offensive team, so that he's probably very used to being very offensive on the right-hand side and getting up the pitch.
He's 22.
So, I mean, I haven't seen much of him again. Sassuolo, I've seen the Sassuolo play a few times, and I know definitely the team style of play, but I haven't really taken note of anyone individually like him. But, I mean, I guess... if he could be one that goes on
at the Euros.
He played twice at the Euros, so maybe he's an up and coming defender who has a lot of potential. I don't really know much about him, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither. But look, you got to trust in Paratici, don't you? At the end of the day,
I hope so. He did Boncatusa at the end of the day, though.
That's very true. Moving on to the Independent, and they say Troy Parrott is expected to go out on loan from Tottenham this summer. A host of clubs are interested in him. He wants first team football. I mean, his loan spells last season didn't really go as planned, did they?
No. I think, obviously we know he had a bit of a better time at Ipswich than he did at Millwall, but I think definitely he needs another loan deal for sure. I think that's the best way to approach it, because I think he's not ready to be part of the first team just yet. And he's still a player with a lot of potential. He still needs that confidence boost. And I think at his age, loan move should do him still good. He still needs to find his way, because at the moment he seems a bit lost.
And we got George Marsh. After 13 years at Tottenham, the 22-year-old George Marsh has now joined AFC Wimbledon following his release from the club. 13 years of service. I know he never made an appearance in the first team,
Does
but
he get a testimonial?
I think he was one of the lucky ones that were in the team for the Audi Cup, I believe. So
yeah, I think you might be right about that. So he's a part of the last squad to win a trophy for Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. One of the legends.
Exactly.
The legends of the Audi Cup.
Forever remember George Marsh.
Exactly.
Wish you the best of luck in the future.
Yeah, most definitely. A Tottenham boy through and through. And last, we got some quotes from Toby Alderweireld, which were quite interesting. It's Toby Alderweireld on being dropped by Jose against Royal Antwerp. And he says, "I'm a team player, but in my head it was war. It was always, and it always is when I'm not playing. I don't want to make this all bigger than it is, but I know where I'm coming from. From Ekeren, then playing football in Antwerp is special. I had never played in my own city. Anyway, the trainer decided otherwise. No, but I understand him. There are bigger things in the world than Toby Alderweireld's image." And then he goes on to say, "My daughter will be 5 in 2023. I would like her to start first grade. That's where you start to get boyfriends and girlfriends, the regulars. I think it's important that we give her and her brother a normal childhood in Belgium." So it sounds like he does really want to go back to Belgium.
I'm not sure why he's worried about his daughter's dating life at 5 years
Yeah,
old.
I know.
I'm not, that's a bit weird. But all right, each their own, I guess. But yeah, look, it sounds like he does want to go back to Belgium.
Who does start dating at 5 years old?
But why is he like worried about that? I wanted to find a boyfriend.
I think
at 5
he's just
years
making
old.
any sort of excuse to get out of Tottenham.
I
at the
think
moment.
I'm hoping he just means like friends instead of like actually relationships. But anyway, I think he sounds like he does want to go back to Belgium. That's where his head's at. He did kind of mention 2023, so maybe he sees what are we in now? 2021. So maybe he sees a couple years in somewhere in Europe, either at Spurs, which at the moment seems unlikely, or a different club in Europe, and then maybe look for 2023. How old would he be then? 34, 35?
Something like that, yeah.
So maybe he's looking, maybe once it hits that year, he'll move back to Antwerp and start thinking about his family first instead of his career. That's probably where his head's at, but maybe he's thinking, because he's still got 2 years left on his contract, am I right? So maybe he's thinking, I'll just see out my Spurs contract, then go back to Antwerp on a free. He could easily see that way. Or we maybe think this could be the last time we can get a bit of money for him, so we'll sell him somewhere, and then he'll sign a 2-year contract at a different top European team, and then he'll think about moving to Belgium. I still think he could easily play at the top level for another couple of years, in my opinion. So I wouldn't rush to go back to Belgium if I was him, but clearly he's at that stage where he's starting to think of his family and all that kind of stuff, and that's where his head's at. So if he does move this summer, I wish him all the best luck, of course. What do you reckon? Do you reckon he goes to a different European club this summer, or do you reckon he actually goes back to Belgium?
I think it all depends on kind of the offers that come in at the end of the day, and I don't know how much do you reckon Daniel Levy will see as an acceptable fee?
They're saying 25, but they didn't even get 25 when he was in his prime. I remember he had that release clause, didn't he? And no one came in for him. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to think we'll get 25 now. You've got to think. I mean, I think anything under 15 is very, very cheap. I think. So I think you got to think at least 15 million, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Look, I can see someone stumping up 15 million for him. I can, but I would have thought there were a host of clubs in for 25 at the time. There weren't. Only really, I think it was United, wasn't it? It was the only team. And it's hard one to say like what's going to happen with him. But from that quotes, from what I get, is I got a feeling that he will stay till the end of his contract, then go to Antwerp. Yeah,
that's what it sounds.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like at the moment maybe he feels Tottenham is just the best place he can be for the time being. And then he can just see out his contract and move back to Antwerp, make it a simple deal. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out this summer. Clearly, he's open to a move, and clearly Spurs knowing as well that he's probably not going to sign a new contract. They might think might be better off selling him if we can get some money. That's where probably Levy's head's at. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out this summer and what offers we get and stuff like that.
But like you say, he had that release clause for 25 million, so it's actually like, it seems a bit unlikely that someone will stump up that money.
Not that money, yeah. I think it's very unlikely.
And last but not least, the September TV schedule has been announced. Tottenham fixtures have been changed. 3 of them have been changed. So first one is Palace away, which has been moved to 12:30 on the Saturday the 11th. Chelsea at home has moved to 4:30 on a Sunday the 19th. And Arsenal away has been moved as well to a 4:30 on Sunday the 26th. And it's interesting, the Arsenal one, because usually they make that at like a 12 o'clock kickoff. So there's not enough like drinking time in the pubs and all that kind of stuff. But now it's a 4:30 on a Sunday evening. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, let's hope we turn up like the Emirates done like last time. Because,
unlike the last 5 times.
Yeah, could ask you probably the last 10 times or something we've turned up to the Emirates. But should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully with fans back in the stadiums as well, that's going to create some good atmosphere, I'm hoping.
Yeah, which was also confirmed yesterday from Boris Johnson, wasn't it? That he's expecting next season that fans will be fully back, full stadiums, full capacity. Did he mention? He didn't say anything about away fans, but I assume that will be involved.
I think 19th of July is going to be that's just the revised Freedom Day, isn't it? So that's going to be the date where everything starts opening up, and there shouldn't be any restrictions after that. So it'll be great. I think the Euros we've seen with fans is just such a different sport when there's a packed out house and there's energy in the stadium and stuff like that. It really affects the game, and there definitely was a massive hole in the game when fans weren't allowed in. I think it was very sterilized, and there was no energy in the stadium. But now you can see in these Euros how it's improved everything, having fans in the same, the scenes, the players feed off it as well. And especially even you see Denmark, how they fed off their supporters this tournament. So I absolutely can't wait to get fans back in the stadiums and have that product back.
Most definitely. But that is your Tottenham update today. Let me know in the comments section below if there's any thoughts regarding any of the news we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.